click the live button. So we run live in 3, 2, 1, and live.
And we're live. Hi, my name's Alex Taylor, and welcome to the season 1 finale, episode 6 of Power BI Lunch and Learn. I hope you've enjoyed attending these sessions these past 6 weeks. Today we're in for our surprise Power BI quiz. We've got 20 questions, and you can be in for winning some fantastic prizes. We've got Marco Ferrari and Alberto Ferrari and Marco Russo DAX books. We've got Power BI t-shirts and many more. Sheb will be our quiz master. He'll be running the quiz today alongside Ben, who will be selecting some of our random prize winners, alongside the winners for the best score in the quiz. Sheb will go into a bit more detail at the quiz in terms of the online form, but quick little intro from myself. So first of all, thank you to everyone that's tuned in for season 1. We've had probably, I'd say, in excess of 800 attendees live for our 6 sessions, which is fantastic and phenomenal. Plus, we've had over 400 people watch these sessions back. As I said, I run the Power BI Managed User Group. It's been going for over 3.5 years now. We do face-to-face meetups when we can, and I said we get 80 to 100 attendees. Hopefully, we'll be able to have a meetup before the year is out, but we'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, we'll continue those sessions. We have got one tomorrow night, and I'll go into that in a bit more detail. As I said, the user groups are fun, a great way to network. And we do share the slides and everything else like we do with these training sessions today. As I said, there's some testimonials for our sessions. A little bit about me. I'm a BI data recruiter and enthusiast. I've been running meetups for the past 5 years and other types of senior level strategy, data and analytics events. I head up the BI function for the UK for Walters. So do get in touch if you are looking for a new role, or if you're looking to hire someone for your team. So the no market is picking up a little bit. So if you are looking for a new job, do get in touch. My details are there, or you can contact me via LinkedIn. And if you're a hiring manager, you're looking to recruit someone, I'm more than happy to help you out with rate cards and details on salaries, etc. Quickly moving on, so my intro, then Sheb was the quiz master, and then we'll be wrapped up by 1:30 as always. Please feel free to add your questions on the right hand side. I know it's a quiz, so if you want to go back on any questions, please pop them on the Q&A, and Lewis and Ben will send that particular question through to you again so you can answer it. So just our panel who have been helping us out these past 6 weeks. Lewis Holmes, a skilled BI contractor with over 10 years experience working Microsoft Stack. Ben Howard, 25 years experience in consultancy and training. He is an expert in Power Online projects and Power BI. He does lots of blogs, and he will be speaking at tomorrow night's Power BI user group. And Sheb, who's our producer, quizmaster, architect trainer, you name it. He's been running our sessions for over with ourselves for the last 6 weeks, but he's been working with us for the last 3 years. Tomorrow night's Power BI user group, we've got talks from Marnik Janssen, who will be doing evaluation context in DAX. So we'll be starting at 6 o'clock. So do RSVP on the meetup, which is meetup.com/Power BI Manchester MCL, and we'll be followed up by Ben Howard, who'll be doing Power BI presentation is 90% of the job. Without further ado, I will pass you over to our quiz master, Sheb.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks for that intro.
You're welcome, mate.
Yes, those images of that Manchester user group takes us back, doesn't it? Feels like it was a long time ago, but hopefully we'll be getting back to them soon.
Definitely.
What do you think?
Hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Right. So thank you, as Alex said. Thanks for everyone who's joined us for the last sort of 6 weeks. We've had some fantastic attendances from you guys. Thank you so much for the feedback you sent us last week as well. All the information, is invaluable. We've got a better idea of who you guys are, what you guys do, what you guys are interested in, and that's just going to help us tailor these sessions and make them even bigger and better. So thank you very much for that. So today's quiz, let's not waste any time. So this is going to be a live quiz. And it's going to be simple. I'm going to send out the form now, which is going to be the answer form. So hopefully in your Q&A area, you should have a link to an online form. I'll be presenting half the questions. Ben will take over the second half of the questions, and we will You will answer the questions as you go live on the sheet. Once we finish the questions, you'll submit them with your name and an email at the end of it. We'll take some time just to review those. We'll go over the answers before the end and then announce the winners over the next sort of couple of days. Okay, so we've got a good set of users online now, so I'm just going to share my screen and we can get going with this quiz. So as Alex said, if you do need any questions repeating, just give us a shout in the Q&A. Lewis is on hand to help us out with those and post any questions that you might have missed in there. Okay, so just an okay from everyone. You can see my screen all right. Lunch and Learn quiz, 27th of May, with me, Ben, Lewis, and Alex. Okay, so we're going to get started. First category is going to be Power BI Desktop. Okay, so question 1, nice and simple. Power BI is celebrating its birthday this July. How old will it be since its first official release, i.e. when it was released to the public? A, 4 years old, B, 5 years old, C, 6 years old, or D, 7 years old? Power BI is celebrating its birthday this July. How old will it be since its official release? 4, 5, 6, or 7? Please answer, and we'll move on to our next question.
Hey Sheb, just a quick one. It's Ben here.
Yep.
I know I'm looking at you for a producer view. I can only see your big video on your producer view. I don't see a shared screen. I don't know if that's. Can you just check that?
Yep.
And we've got a couple of questions on the Q&A just saying that as well. Can't see the screen, so just make sure you are sharing that, please.
Yep. Is it just a picture of me you can see?
I'm afraid it was. Now I can see a blank desktop with a Windows logo and you.
Yep. And then I'm going to...
Now we've got it. Now we've got the PowerPoint.
Are we there? Are we there? We're there.
Top. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, Ben. Right, let's start again, shall we? Okay. So the first category is going to be Power BI Desktop. Question 1. Power BI will be celebrating its birthday this July. How old will it be since its official release? 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 or 7 years old? Okay. Question 2. The May 2020 desktop update was released this month. By default, how many visuals are available in the visualizations pane? Now, this doesn't include any of the preview features, so which visuals are available by default? How many of them? 25, 28, 31, or 34? The May 2020 desktop update was released this month. By default, how many visuals are available in the visualizations pane? Okay. Excellent. Question number 3. Which two of these visuals allow for a trend line within the analytics button? So there's 2 options here, and there's 2 marks for this particular question as well. So which of the 2 visuals allow for a trend line within the analytics button? A cluster column chart, B, a line chart, C, a line and stacked column chart, D, a stacked area chart. So you've got 2 answers to give there. You will have 2 points if you get both correct, no points if you get just the one or none. So 2 points up for grabs for this question. Which of these visuals allow for a trend line within the analytic button? Okay, question 4. So this might jog your memory from one of the sessions. Personal bookmarks are a feature in which application? The Power BI service only, the Power BI service and the Power BI mobile application, both the Power BI desktop and the Power BI service, or D, all three products. Personal bookmarks are a feature in which application? Okay. Question 5. When editing interactions, which interactions are available on a line and stacked column chart? Filter, highlight, and none. Filter and none. C, highlight and none. Or D, none. They are not applicable to line and stacked column charts. When editing interactions, which interactions are available on a line and stacked column chart? Okay. So this was covered in one of our sessions as well. Okay, and that was the 5 questions for Power BI Desktop. Now, we're on to our DAX. Okay, everybody okay on the Q&As? Speed okay? Any issues? Just give us a shout out. Okay, moving swiftly on to DAX. Question 6. Which DAX function would you use to alter the filter context of a measure? Apply filter, calculate, distinct, or filter context. Which DAX function would you use to alter the filter context of a measure? Apply filter, calculate, distinct, or filter context. Okay. Question 7. Study the DAX expression. What is the expected result? A, $5 in brackets, B, $5, C, $5,000, or D, minus $5. Study the DAX expression. What is the expected result?
Hey, Sheb, should that be dollars or pounds?
It should be pounds.
There you go. I win.
You win. But let's yeah, let's pretend that either they're all dollars or they're all pounds. Or let's just ignore that altogether. Okay, question 8. Okay, study the following DAX measure. What is the value of measure 1? A, 500, B, 100, C, 2000, or D, 25. I'll give you a minute or two just to try and look through that DAX measure. What is the value of measure 1? Variables were partly covered in one of the sessions we did previously. Study the following DAX measure. What is the value of measure 1? A, 500, B, 100, C, 2000, or D, 25. Okay. Question number 9. So you have a Power BI model with 2 tables, a sales table and a customer table. There's a relationship between the sales and customer table on customer ID. You need to create a measure to rank the customers based on their total sales amount. Which of these DAX formulas should you use? Now, we do have the sort of rank options already in Power BI, but before Power BI started putting those in automatically, we had to calculate rank like this. So you need to create a measure to rank the customers based on their total sales amount. Which DAX formula should you use? Okay. And on to question 10. So the last one of the DAX questions. Information functions look at a table or column provided as an argument to another function and tells you whether the value matches the expected type. What is the result of the following DAX expression? A different type, or B is a Boolean type or logical. What is the result of the following DAX expression? Is different type, or B is Boolean type or logical. Okay. Power query. I'm going to swap over. Quizmasters are going to swap over. I'm going to put Ben in charge and give him the opportunity to go through these Power Query questions with you. Okay. Ben, I'll send you live, and I will keep my screen so you can. No, that's not going to work. Let's have a look. Okay, you're there, you're on mute, and I'll just share your desktop.
Okay, does that look good?
Yeah, looks good.
Brilliant. Okay, so Power Query question 11. So you have two queries. Both tables have the same columns but use different data. Which feature, or rather what feature of Power Query would you use to combine data from both tables? So both tables have the same columns but different data. What feature of Power Query would you use to combine data from both tables? Combine files, merge queries, merge columns, or append columns? Okay, question 12. You have a query that retrieves sales data. A sample of the data is shown in the following table, the one obviously on the right. You need to ensure that the values in the date column contain a date. Any null values must be replaced with the date from the previous row. What options should you click on in the query editor? So A, format and then clean, B, date and then earliest, C, fill and then down, or D, replace values and then replace errors. Okay, that's question 12. Let's do question 13. Bit of a wordy one. You have loaded data from a database table which contains a list of file names that have been processed by an internal team. One particular column called file name contains the name of each file processed, e.g. lunch.learn123.xml. Which transform function should you use to dissect the file name values into two separate columns, one for the file name and the other column for the file extension, e.g. .xml? And the clue there is which transform function should you use to dissect the file name values into two separate columns, one for the file name and the other for the file extension. So A, extract text before delimiter. B, split column, split at the rightmost delimiter. C, split the column, split at each occurrence of the delimiter. Or D, extract the text after the delimiter. Okay, that's 13 done. 14, question 14. You have imported the following table into Power Query from an Excel source. So that all looks nice. Nice table there in Excel. In Power Query, you need to transform this table so that it appears with columns as rows and rows as columns, as it is below to the right. Which two commands do you need to use? So a couple of commands here. So we need to select both commands for the right answer. Sheb, correct me if I'm wrong on this. So we need two of pivot column for A, B, unpivot columns, C, transpose, D, convert to list, or C, use first rows as headers.
Oh, you're correct on that, Ben. There is two answers required, and there are 2 marks for this. 2 points up for grabs for this.
Thanks, Sheb. I mean, you would have thought we'd have prepped it up, wouldn't you? Okay, so that's question 14. Question 15. You have a column in Power Query called price, which shows as the following. In that table, GB 412, decimal 13, etc. Which two of the following commands will extract the price from this column into a separate column? So we don't want the GBP piece on there, we just want the numeric value. A, add new column, column from examples. B, add new column, conditional column. C, split column by delimiter. Or D, replace values. And again, which two of the following commands will extract the price from this column into a separate column?
And as with other questions that have 2 options, there are 2 points up for grabs as well.
I do think you are a bit mean though, only, you know, it's either 2 points or no points.
That's it. That's the way it works. 2 points or no.
That works. Yeah, you're the quiz master. You're the quiz master. All right, that's question 15. So that's the end of Power Query. Now we have some larger questions, kind of those exam style, if you do the Microsoft questions or any of the other types of questions that you might have done in the past. So question 16. You need to recreate a visualization based on the Power Pivot model as shown in Power BI. So the visualization is Power Pivot, and we need a similar thing in Power BI. Which type of visualization should you use? A, matrix. B, KPI. C, multi-row card. Or D, a table. So that's a visualization in Power Pivot, obviously in Excel. What should we use to recreate a similar visualization in Power BI? A matrix, a KPI, a multi-row card, or a table. Okay, question 17. You have a Microsoft Excel workbook that contains 2 tables, and from Power BI, you create a dashboard that displays data from those tables. The Excel tables get updated each day. You need to ensure that the visualizations in the dashboard are also updated daily. Which 3 actions do you need to do? So you choose 3 out of the 5. Action A, configure the gateway connection settings for the dataset. B, add subscriptions to the reports. C, download and install Power BI Desktop. D, configure the schedule refresh settings for the dataset. And E, download and install an on-premises data gateway (brackets personal). So which 3 do you need to do?
Can you guess how many points are available for this, Ben?
I reckon it's either 0 or 3.
Excellent. A point for you.
I'm top man, aren't I? Not quite sure whether you class that as a binary option, given that there are 3 points available. Okay, so Excel workbook, 2 tables in there. You update the Excel daily. You've published a report. How do you make sure that that report is auto refreshed daily? Okay, that's question 17. Let's go on to question 18. You create a report in the Power BI service that displays the following visualizations. A KPI that displays the count of customers, a table that displays the count of customers by country, and a line chart that displays the count of customers by year. You need to receive an alert when the total number of customers reaches 10,000. What should you do first? A, pin the line chart to the dashboard or to a dashboard. B, pin the KPI to a dashboard. C, embed the report into a Microsoft SharePoint page. Or D, pin the report to the dashboard. Okay, so we're after alerts here. That's the key piece. I want an alert when the number of customers reaches a certain value. What should we do first? It's not the whole solution. Pin the line chart to the dashboard, pin the KPI to the dashboard, embed the report into Microsoft SharePoint, or pin the whole report to the dashboard. That's question 18. Question 19, the penultimate question. Given the following report and columns in the date table, okay, and the date table is the table to the right-hand side there, you need to ensure that the months in the chart on the left-hand side appear in the order of the calendar rather than them appearing alphabetically, which they do at the moment. How should you sort the month name column, month name being April, August, December, etc.? Do we sort that month name column by month number, ascending, descending, or by date key? And of course, all of those columns are in the table on the right-hand side. Okay, that's question 19. And the last one, question 20. You have a table named sales that contains sales data for the United States as per the table. When you attempt to create a map that shows sales amount by zone, you discover that the map shows a bubble based on cities instead of states. You need to ensure that the map shows bubbles based on the states, okay, not the cities. So you're after the states. What should you do? And again, we've got 4 choices for this. We can add a column named country that contains United States as the value. B, add a column for longitude and a column for latitude. And of course, you kind of fill them in, wouldn't you? C, select the zone field. From the column tools, change the data category. Or D, select the zone field. From the column tools, change the data type. Okay, so we need to ensure that the map shows bubbles based upon those states, okay, rather than cities. What are we going to do? Okay, that's question 20. So that's me done for that. Sheb, do you want to have any comments or thoughts? Do we have anything in the chat?
No, that was a fantastic session by you, Ben, so appreciate that. Yeah, whilst you get your randomizer ready, I will just share something with the guys here. So I wanted to just thank everyone again about the feedback that you guys have sent. You know, we've had you know, some really nice comments from you guys. And well, what does the data tell us? It tells us that 95% of you actually really enjoyed the sessions. You thought the timing was perfect. You 3/4 of you were happy with the content. You know, 90+ people learned new Power BI skills from the sessions as well. So it seems that we're doing something right now. This is our announcement for season 2. So Power BI Lunch and Learn has gained some traction from some people far and wide, and we have decided to go on a world tour. We've already managed to sort of lock down people from the USA to come and do some talks with us. If you're from Australia, we've got a guy from India, and we've got a guy from Canada as well, and they're all going to be live on this Power BI Lunch and Learn session, even though it's going to be, I think, midnight in Australia at the time. I think it's going to be 4 AM or 5 AM in Canada, and 7 AM in the USA. But they want to be on this show because they've seen what we're doing, they enjoy what we're doing, they like the snappiness, they like the short and sweet sessions that we're doing, and what we're trying to sort of achieve from it in terms of giving you invaluable feedback and hints and tips regarding what we've learned in our sort of time in the industry. And now this is coming from guys who are working across the waters, you know, dealing with Power BI queries day in, day out in a totally different environment. And some of them I'm really excited to I can't actually keep it to myself, but I'm going to keep the names of these people until the new season. But they are some guys you will recognise, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to going on that world tour with you guys as well, with us. So the next step, we're going to go through a randomizer tool which Ben has put together, and we're going to randomly select some winners. First of all, there's going to be winners selected 2 attendees from the last 5 sessions. So if you've attended the sessions over the past 5 or 6 weeks, we're going to randomly choose through a random selector 2 prize winners from there. We're then going to select a prize winner from those who sent feedback last week as well. So the names and addresses, names and emails that you put into those forms, we put those into a random selection, and we're going to pick you out as a winner as well. And then we'll go through the feedback questions, So you've got until the end of Ben's presentation to submit your questions. Once they're submitted, we'll then go through the answers before the end of the session, just to see how you guys did, and we'll announce the winners over the next couple of days. Okay, so you have a few more minutes to submit your questions. Please submit them with your name and email at the bottom. Get that submitted, and then we can go through the answers before we finish up today. Okay, Ben, are you okay? So look, Ben's on mute. Share your desktop.
Thanks, Sheb. Yep. Just have a lovely bad network quality piece as usual. Hopefully you can see me, see the screen. I like the way you say we've got a randomizer. We haven't. We're going to kind of build one on the fly. So I've got Power BI here, and we've got a list of attendees. We get those CSV reports. So let's just go and obviously go and get some data. We're going to get the data from a folder. We're going to bring them in. So we're going to use obviously all the beauty of Power BI. Slowly in my case. Oh, come on, PC. There we go. So let's go grab a folder. Paste in that path. Click OK. So, of course, one of the answers ultimately was doing what we're doing. So I'm going to combine and transform the data. So that will open up Power Query. We've got two queries as we do this. One is for the attendees and then one is for the feedback. So come on, Power Query. My machine is looking a little slow. That'll do that. Ultimately, all I want in Power Query once this loads up is an individual's name, an individual's record, if you like. So Power Query opens on a different screen. Bear with, as my kids would say. Let's throw that down here. There we go. Okay, so this is what the CSV file looks like. I want everything, or rather I want column 2 and nothing else. So I'll highlight column 2 and I'll just remove all of the other columns, which is great. That then gives us obviously the title in here. So that's the column header. So we can go and use the first row as a header. That's all well and good. And then you'll see we've got lots of people, thank you very much, who've attended multiple times. So of course we need to reduce the rows. I'm going to remove some rows and I'm going to remove duplicates. So that gives me just unique values. Then of course we can see we've got some blank values in here. Well, they might not be blank because when I remove blanks it doesn't get rid of them, and so I'm very simply just going to click on the two filters here and get rid of that little lot. Everything else has got some data in, so that's good. This is, we're going to call that attendees, and this column will just rename that to be name. So that's the attendees data coming into Power Query. Let's go and bring in the data for the feedback form. And we've got a Power BI Lunch and Learn feedback form in here. So let's go and bring that in. It's in Excel. And in terms of Excel, da-de-da-de-da. Let's have a look at that. Sheb's put it into a table. So let's go and have a look at the table. I didn't rename it, of course, should always rename your tables. So here's the data. So that looks okay. Bring that little lot in. And again, we want to do the same sort of thing where we get rid of everything except the name, which is probably, there we go. Name or nickname for competition entries. So we'll remove the other columns in that, and then we will notice we've got Lewis in here. Lewis, you can't win. Okay, if it's not allowed. Again, we shall go and remove some rows, remove rows. We'll remove duplicates just in case, because I don't know what Sheb's data is like. That seems to get rid of a lot of stuff. And then
Wait, whoa, geez.
whoa. Just seeing if you were still awake. I'll get rid of that null value. That also looks okay. And because it makes it more sensible, we'll just call this name as well. And table 1, we will just call this, this was feedback, wasn't it? So that's the query name. So that's bringing the data into Power Query, and we are done. Okay, whilst that does that, let's just, because I can't do a session without PowerPoint, can I? Have a look at what we're going to do in our randomizer. Ultimately, this is a process we're going to go through. I want to produce a table with a single name in it. And so for each of those existing tables, I'm going to index the names. We'll call that index I for this little PowerPoint example. And that's going to go from 1 through to n, where n, of course, is the maximum number of names we have. So everybody gets unique index. Then we create a random number. We'll call it R, of course, between 1 and n. Okay, and then from there, we filter the table where our random number equals the index of some user or some person. And then we return the name from the table. So that's the process we're going to go through. Okay. And obviously running Teams just causes your laptop to go really, really, really slowly. Okay, so here's both of my queries. Let's just, I always like to do it this way. I'm going to click on the data field and hope for my queries come back. There we go. So we'll add to the, if we have a look at attendees, here we can see we've got the name. So we'll go and add in a new column for this. Instead of flying me around the world, Sheb, to go on this world tour, which I kind of, that's what's going to happen, right? Can you just not buy me a new laptop?
A new laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Index. So this is going to be I, if you like, and we're going to rank X on this. What are we ranking on? Well, we're ranking on the attendees table, and then what's the expression, what's the value we want to rank on, if you like. So again, we'll just do that on attendees name. Don't need any order. I will have this, any value. We will have this as ascending. And so that goes away and ranks those ultimately alphabetically. We can check that out, of course, by just sorting this ascending, which I always like to do. And we can see our index goes from 1 through to n, in this case 384 distinct values. We'll do the same thing for feedback whilst we're here. New column. We'll call that index equals rank X. Rank X on feedback. Feedback name, ascending. And that will do the same thing. Okay, so that's brilliant. We've now got that data. So we could kind of plot a little bit of this, but again, I'm going to go in and we're going to create a new table. Okay, so in table tools, we'll go ahead and do that. So new table. I'm just going to call this table winner. That equals, and now we start to write the formula. So I'm going to use some local variables again. There was a question on here, so I'm going to have a variable called the winning ticket is equal to. So what is that equal to? Well, it's equal to some random number which is between 1 and a value. So we'll do the winning ticket for the attendees first. So it's going to be the max of what? Well, it's going to be the attendees table, but it's going to be the max of the index, because that's going to give us obviously the largest. I could have done, you know, count columns or something else in there. Okay, that's that. And then we are also going to return a filtered table. It's going to equal the filter of the attendees. Okay, and the filter expression is where the attendees index equals the winning ticket. Okay, and notice the X, Y in there next to winning ticket representing the variable. Then, of course, I can just return the filter table. And we need a little bracket on there, and that should work. So this is going to give me a filtered table, and it will give me hopefully one person's name in there. That is not going to be the person who wins. Let me just say that now. Okay, so I'm going to press return or click enter on here, and then we should get a table called winner. Okay, so there we go. It kind of works. It returns that one person. It's not sufficient yet, though, because what we need to do is we need to just draw that person out and put that person on a card so that we can all applaud them. So I'm going to save a new measure, and we'll just call this new measure winner name or something like that when this comes up. And we can just take the kind of max X out of the winner table, and it's going to be the winner name. Okay, and that will work. That will give us the winner name. Okay, so we'll click on the checkbox there to make sure that that's kind of happy. Notice it refreshes again. This person still isn't the winner. I'll tell you who the winner is. So what I'm going to do is I'm then going to pick up a card, stick the card on the desktop, and then throw the winner name into the card. And this person still isn't the winner. Okay, I just want to check everything works. So if your name has come up, big apologies, Timothy. Okay, so how do I get this to work? Everything's set up. Now I'm going to draw the first winner, Sheb. So you need to write this name down. If I click refresh, this is the first winner from everybody that's attended any of the previous sessions. So refresh. Da, 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 da. It's a lot faster when Teams isn't playing around. Joe Price. Hurrah! Well done, Joe. Okay, so I hope Joe is on the line. Perhaps if she is, she could post something in the Q&A. Maybe he, but it's Joe with a no E, so generally a male. And then the second winner is Diptesh Patel. And again, I hope Diptesh is on the line. Well done for that. So those are the two draws from the attendees. We need to do one draw from a feedback form. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back to this winner table, all we really need to do then is just change what we're looking at, okay, because we're looking and referencing the attendees table. So now we need to look at the feedback table. So we'll look at the feedback index, and then we're going to filter the feedback with, again, the feedback. And that should, again, just work. That should now be looking at the feedback table, which it is. I think everything looks okay. So I'm just going to click on here. When it refreshes, that won't be the winner. Okay, we'll do it in the same sort of way. So just make sure that that works. Yeah, so sorry, Ian. The winner this time, let's click on refresh again. So this will be the winner from the people who gave the feedback. As long as it's not me, Sheb, or Lewis, then we'll have a winner. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, Nayan Bonassi. And so congratulations. No idea if you're in the UK or elsewhere, but Sheb's got your name and he will be in touch. That's it from me, Sheb.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ben. That was a really good session. I really enjoyed that myself. Not sure about anybody else. I'm pretty sure everyone else did. I've had some really nice comments. It's the first time someone's ever had to wait for a prize announcement and learn in the process. So all good.
Happy days. Happy days.
Brilliant solution from Birdie and a well done from Addy as well. Excellent. Right, we have around 10 minutes. So what I'm going to quickly do is go through the answers for the quiz. And I'll share you my screen and we can go through that together. Okay, so hopefully it should be the banner on the screen, and I will start the slideshow from the beginning. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see my presentation. Okay, so let's go through these answers. So we've had all respondents. I think 95% of you have submitted your answers who are on the call, which is excellent. So let's go through some of these answers. Okay, so Power BI is celebrating his birthday. So Power BI was launched in 2015, so it will be celebrating its 5th birthday this July. Okay, question 2. The May 2020 update was released. How many visualizations are available by default? The answer is D, 34. So these are all the visualizations that you get. You have the stat chart, the line chart, etc. So all the default ones that you get. There's 34 by default that you get. Never thought to really count them really. Well, there you go. Okay, so which of these two visuals allow for a trend line within the analytics button? So I wonder if anybody had any ideas for that. Now I just need to double check. I think the answers are the clustered column chart. Actually, I do know the answers. The clustered column chart and the line chart are the two that allowed for a trend line. Okay. 4. Personal bookmarks are featured in which application? And that is the Power BI service only. So once Power report has been published, you can create your own personal bookmark and save that in the Power BI service only. Okay. Question 5. Which interactions are available on a line and stacked column chart? The answer there is A, filter, highlight, and none. You can have them, all 3 of them. Okay. On to the DAX questions. Which DAX function would you use to alter the filter context of a measure? This answer is calculate. When you use calculate, it ignores all the filter context that have previously been applied. So that would then alter the filter context of that particular measure. Okay. Number 7. Now I did get this question, the questioning wrong on this, as Ben quite rightly pointed out, but the answer would be A. Okay, so I'd format the -5 into this particular value or this particular format with a bracket around it, and it would show as A. Okay. Study the following DAX measure. What is the value of measure 1? Okay, so this is saying if 2 is greater than 100, which it's not, so then that counts that one out, so it's not 1 times 2. If 2 is less than 100, which again it's not, so it ignores that one. So then it's going to do the else, which is 1 times 1, which is 5 times 5, and the answer is D, 25. Okay, so it ignores the first 2 because we're not doing any, less than equals to 100, and 3 is greater than 50, but 3 is not greater than 50, it's less than 50, which is 20. So it ignores that second option, and the third one, 1 times 1, is the else option it displays. Okay. You have a Power BI model with 2 tables. You need to create a DAX measure to rank the customer based on their sales amount. Now, Ben just went through one here, and he used similar to C, which was rank the customers, and he wants a sum X on the related table based on the sales amount. So the answer there is C. Okay. Number 10. What is the result of the following DAX expression? If logical equals true, Boolean type or logical, else it's a different type. So is logical evaluates whether that's matches the expected type. So we put true in there, and that's incorrect because we've put it as a string within there. So it's almost like a trick question, double barreled, or however you want to sort of say it. So the answer is a Boolean type or is a different type. Okay. Question 11. You have 2 queries, both the table, same columns with different data. What feature Power Query would you use to combine data from both tables? Okay. In this one, you would append the queries. You would merge the queries because that would do a join on there and add additional columns on there. You would append the queries so that they have both data from both tables combined together. Okay. Question 12. What option would you click on the query editor to replace the date values or the null values in there? Format, then clean, date edit earliest, fill and then down, replace values and then replace errors. In this particular instance, you would use the C option, fill and then down, because that would replace the values from the previous row above it and replace any of the null values with a valid date. Question 13. You have data, loaded data from the database table. Which transform functions would you use to dissect into a separate column? The answer here is B. You would split it at the rightmost delimiter before the XML, and that would split it out into another column. Okay, you've imported this table into Power BI Query Editor. Which 2 commands do you need to use to transform the above table to the one on the right? So you would first transpose the table. So you transpose it from columns and rows to columns. Then you would use the first row headers to then promote those headers to the first row. So the answer is C and E. You have a column in Power Query called price. Which 2 of the following commands will extract the price from this column into a separate column? Now these don't have to be together. They can be 2 separate ones, which they are. So column from examples, A, we'll add a new column, so that will pull that data out. And also C, split column by delimiter, will also do the same thing as well. Okay, so the answers there are A and C. Exam style. So you need to recreate this model in Power BI. Which visualization would you use? That is a matrix visual. You have an Excel sheet, you update the date tables daily. You need to ensure that visualization in the dashboard updates daily. Which 3 actions do you need? Okay, so the first thing you need to do is download and install on-premises gateway in the personal mode. Okay, you'll then need to configure the gateway connection settings for the dataset. And then you will then need to configure the schedule refresh settings for that dataset. So the answers are A, D, and E, not in that particular order. Okay. Of course, you do need Power BI Desktop, but we're talking about more the schedule refresh side of things. Okay, so you create a report in Power BI service that displays the following visualizations: KPI, a table, and a line chart. You want to receive alert when the total number of customers reaches 10,000. What do you do first? So I sort of covered this in one of my sessions that I did when I did the errors and exceptions. The first thing you would need to do is pin the KPI to the dashboard, because you can't have an alert on the chart or on a particular report. You can have an alert on a KPI value. So you set the KPI and alert on that particular KPI that's been pinned to the dashboard, and then you will know when your customer reaches 10,000. Okay, so the answer there is B. Given the following report and columns in the date table, you need to ensure that the months appear in the order of calendar. How should you sort the month name column? Ascending, descending, by date key, or by month number. So you would sort this by the month number. Okay. Month number. And question 20, you have a table named sales that contains sales data from the United States. You need to ensure that the map shows bubbles based on states. What should you do? So the answer here is C. You would select the zone field, and from the column tools options, you would change the data category from cities to states. Okay, excellent. That was the end of the quiz and the questions there. I hope you guys all enjoyed that. Thank you again for attending. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for spending your lunch with us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Like I said, this is going to be our world tour coming up, so we're really excited about that. And please look out for our announcements that we're going to make over the coming weeks. We've taken your feedback from the sessions as well, so we're going to be covering the things that you want to see. There's going to be more DAX, there's going to be more custom visuals, there's going to be more query performance analysis, and it's all going to be coming to you direct from our living rooms, our offices, straight to your office, wherever you are in the world. Okay, I'm just going to pass you back to Alex. Thank you all for joining us again, and see you soon.
So thank you very much to Lewis, Sheb and Ben for this series. It's been fantastic. It's been, I hope everyone's learned something and got some pointers to take home. There's been plenty of tips and tricks. Thank you very much to the guys for putting together this fantastic quiz today, and well done to our prize winners. We'll be in touch to sort out your prizes very, very soon. It's been a really, really enjoyable past 6 weeks. We are back in 2 weeks' time with Sheb, Lewis, Ben and our special guests from around the world. And I'm sure we'll be adding many more guest speakers to the Power BI Lunch and Learn series, possibly in season 3. But we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, so you have a week off from seeing our lovely faces. Do get in touch if you have any questions for the guys. We'll be sharing around the details from today and how Ben got to choose the randomizer today and how that worked, so you can show you the tips and tricks behind that. But if you missed any of our season 1 episodes, please get in touch. I will share around a link to all 6 episodes, and if you've got friends that want to take part in the quiz, please send the link and they can complete it at their own time. Unfortunately, many prizes. But without further ado, thank you very much for attending today. Tomorrow evening we are back with Power BI Manchester user group session with Marnix Janssen, evaluation context in DAX, and Ben is back again with presentation is only 90% of Power BI. So what is that right, Ben?
Yeah. When I've created it, I'll be there, mate.
Sorry, so I invited Ben before we decided on Lunch and Learn series. So Ben's presenting again, but yeah, I'll give him at least a week and a half off.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much again, Ben. So I'll see you guys tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. BST will be live, and I said it's going to be 2 hours of talks on DAX and Power BI presentation. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your sunny Wednesday afternoon, and thank you very much. Take care. Cheers, guys.